Twitch has a Hasan problem. Fast facts by Legal Mindset.
Twitch has a brand new Hasan problem, and this one could have huge repercussions, both legal and non-legal. We're going to get into that today. Of course, on the Legal Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and I'm bringing you this Fast Facts premiere, a quick and dirty version, while I once again on a short...
I need to hire this guy whenever I run into legal trouble. This is the Saul Goodman of YouTube. This is Slippin' Jimmy.
In lovely Phuket, Thailand. So another hotel room, another place.
Uh-oh, he's in Thailand? I heard some insults being thrown back and forth. I'm pretty sure Hasan was calling this guy a passport bro? I don't know what's going on.
But still bringing you the freshest news, so make sure you like this video.
And if you guys have watched The White Lotus, Season 3, there's a very interesting quote about Thailand. You're either looking for something or running from something. Those are the only two reasons why you would ever be in Thailand. Real ones, no.
If you like the Fast Facts versions. So let's get right into
Yo, Legal Mindset, can you do us a favor and check in on Dr. Tony Huge? I just want to make sure everything's good in that camp. What's going on? I feel like I can't even talk about that situation. It might be illegal.
Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to enforcing its guidelines, or at least it, when looking at its terms of service, has not always applied those equally to all groups and people. And
now that I think about it, I think there's only one reason why people would go to Thailand, and it's for that lady boyosi. I gotta say thank you, because we're not just on Twitch right now. That would be a death sentence. We're on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. That's why you see the green goblins popping off to my left.
And one of the people that gets the most criticism for this, and that many...
That would be my right.
Folks across the board have said is the really recipient of a lot of the benefit of the terms of service without the burden of punishment has been one Hasan Piker. Now today there was an absolutely extreme incident which really points out the problem for Twitch in having this unequal enforcement involving Hasan.
How many subscribers does Legal Mindset have? 310K, that's huge!
And how this can have legal consequences. And this is involving him swinging around what appears to be, and that's the very key here legally and overall, what appears to be a weapon. So let's take a look at the video. And of course, this is video that I can't...
Have you guys seen this? There was an incident that happened on Twitch, and Hasan pulled out a firearm, although he said it is a toy. But he was waving it around, and people were likening it to Moist Critical, doing that with Sneeko. But Moist Critical, or Charlie, was explaining the difference between a mag and a round.
I found over on X, which highlights this incident. So we'll take this.
I'm bleeding viewers to YouTube and Twitch, in my opinion. Listen, we will get a strict streaming pipeline when we hit those thresholds over on Kick. Until then, we gotta funnel people over to the green side.
This clip here and give some commentary as we go.
Sorry, mags and clips, not rounds. These are mags.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left.
So so to give you some background here, it appears there's a chatter in his chat who is made a bunch of comments. Obviously, these
Imagine running defense for a communist mayoral candidate in New York City. That might be the worst vibes I've ever heard of in my entire life.
comments that are not fitting with the vibe in the crowd of Hasan's chat.
Would hit hard to have 4-figure viewers on Kick. Also, green goes hard. That's so true. Green is the color of money. It's also the color of my favorite flavor and fragrance of Cheeky, the best soap in the world. Touch grass. Use code Philion for 10% off, plus free shipping to the US with your starter pack. That's usecheeky.com/Philion for 10% off.
Obviously, for any of this, he would have the ability to block and or ban this person. Of course, every single content creator retains the right.
Phil, I really enjoyed your input in the transgender video. Felt much better than mere slop. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm a Swiss Army knife. I'm cracked and dialed and optimized in every single area of life. I don't have any weaknesses besides the man flu that I get every 6 months. But that's just God nerfing me. But depending on what we're reacting to, elicits different firings with my neurons. And if it's something that I could actually sink my teeth into, you might appreciate the sheer intellect and wit that I bring to the table in the marketplace of ideas. Other than that, if it's really sloppy, yeah, it might be more comedic. It might be more akin to sludge. So listen, if you guys want to send me high IQ videos, then we can unpack them. We are a community here at Third Eye Global. But I'm just one man surfing the algorithms at a time. So if you're in the Discord, drop those links and I'll check out the videos and we can have a filtration system and make sure that we cover the best topics possible.
To ban people out of their chat for whatever reason. Some people are more permissive, some people are more restrictive. That's really up to the creators on their platform. If they choose to ban people for anything, that's up to them. We wouldn't be here today if this was
TG Lenify and Zanman's 903. This Green Goblin army is getting stronger every single stream.
was just a block and ban incident, which once again, I think there was plenty of grounds for him as a creator saying, hey, I don't want this person here. And some of this language was even pretty extreme, saying hang Hasan for treason. Yeah, that's pretty extreme. And you know what? Blocking and banning someone for that would be
Detoing with the follow. That's kick.com/Philion. Kick.com/Philion if any of the YouTube viewers want to come over.
called for. If someone came into my chat or anybody else's chat and said that about that creator, yeah, they would probably catch a ban. They would probably catch a block and a ban, and possibly a report, a broader report. But the response that Hasan gives here is not proportional nor appropriate to these comments. Let's play this.
In our sincerity and actually delivering for the very working people who've been left behind by our politics.
So let's be clear. He's gone and retrieved what appears to be a pistol. Now, many people have pointed out it could be airsoft or it is airsoft or whatever else.
Don't airsoft guns usually have the orange tip as a safety mechanism?
The key here is that it appears to be a real weapon. I'll also note, as someone who played airsoft for like 8-9 years as a kid, I had MP5s, I had pistols, I had a sniper rifle, even an airsoft sniper rifle. You're supposed to have an orange tip or a...
I mean, this is why you watch Philion, bro. I give you the knowledge that you need from the future.
marker on the end of an airsoft. That would be not a typical airsoft to lack that marker or remove that orange tip, even though, of course, some people do that. Some people make it more realistic. But the key here, and this is a key that is not just in analyzing this for Twitch terms of service.
Maybe in America, but in Europe, it isn't oranged. I could see how that could be the case.
But also broader for the law is that you can...
A lot of people sawed off the orange tip back in the day. Yeah, airsoft is really fun until you realize the people that are really into it spend like $10,000 on full kitted camo fatigues and the most cracked loadouts ever, and they're just fat and they hold corners and you can't do anything and it's not fun.
Can make a physical threat. You can make a threat or try to intimidate somebody with even a fake weapon, with a fake knife, with a fake gun, with a fake bomb. If you were going to try to hijack a plane,
Why would you do this though? Like, why are you pulling out a gun on stream? Like, talking to a chatter? Are you fucking insane? Like, what is wrong with you? Is that not psychotic?
and you attempted that with a fake gun, it would not be material in terms of your defense. You would not be able to say, oh, but, well, it was fake, so I couldn't do it all along. You know, when you get caught and arrested and thrown in jail, you don't get off because, oh, it was fake. No, you would lead a reasonable person to
It's not psychotic, it's retarded.
believe that was real, and a reasonable person could have fear of that knife, gun, bomb, whatever, despite the fact that it's not objectively real. So that's a defense a lot of people brought up, and I don't think that stands
But what's crazy is Twitch is not going to do shit.
up. Let's continue here.
Politics compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, over the same period of time that I've been running, has been I would tell him if the last person couldn't get my name right, we defeated them, and that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay, fair enough.
Once again, brandishing the weapon, flaring it around.
He's like staring at his stream, just fondling the gun. He's not even speaking.
Obviously, there's a point to this. Obviously, there's an individual who this is directed at. You know, this is something that's not really ambiguous in the general intention.
As you may
Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use your smartphone.
So here's another crazy thing about the
Hasan gets one guide, for those of you in streaming terms, where you're hyper-focused on like one chatter, and they found his apparent alleged account. It turns out I don't think it was the actual guy. But it's like, why? Are you this fragile?
the doxing. So now you've paired, so you've linked up brandishing a weapon, what appears to be a real weapon, whether or not it is, whether it's an airsoft or whatever it's fake. You've paired up brandishing a weapon with doxing, which is revealing their private information, which, by the way, in certain jurisdictions, in certain places in the world, is illegal. So you've done two.
I don't know if it's actual doxing, if it's a public YouTube channel. Maybe making the connection of the chatter to the channel would, in some eyes, be considered doxing. But as far as I'm aware, if it's publicly available information and you're not going out of your way to violate privacy, like, it's not doxing. It's a dick move.
Things which are potentially illegal. There's the brandishing, the threats, the intimidation, and then you've got the doxing, right? So you've got two separate things you're now doing together. So that this is combining to make it even worse.
Also, brandishing a weapon IRL with no intention to use it is a great way to get immediately shot. Yeah, this doesn't have to turn into a firearm safety class. I'm aware. Live streaming with a gun and showing your chat is bizarre behavior.
Wait, this is the guy?
First thing we want to do is download the YouTube VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the description.
Fuck are you gonna do, bro?
And of course, I do like the pop-up there just explaining that this is clearly against their TOS. This is
What about Jason Blaha making ammo and making his 2 mandatory vids? That's based. They're not mandatory, they're obligatory. No, I'm just kidding. I've always found that fucking weird as well. Sitting at like a forge, just making bullets while I'm talking to you guys? Huh?
something that is not, holistically, both the doxing and the threatening is, of course, against the Twitch terms of service, right?
Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hang Hasan and Mamdani for treason, he says. The fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do? You skinny bitch.
And to be clear, nothing that Hasan said would be necessarily impermissible. He could say all those things. He could call them, I believe his
Bro's a gangsta flailing his gun.
technical word was a skinny bitch, all he wants. That would have been perfectly fine. He could yell at this guy the whole night, scream at this guy the whole night. The problem was the weapon combined with the doxing, right? All the other stuff he could do. That's his show. He can run it how he wants. That wouldn't necessarily be against TOS to just yell at the guy the whole night and make fun of the guy. That's fine. Do it your way. Not what we do on my channel. But hey, he can do it on his channel all he wants. But with that, you open yourself up to a bunch of problems. And Twitch is opened up to a bunch of problems because now they've got to decide what they're going to do with
Nothing. At all.
Hasan. And in the past, they've only given him slaps on the wrist. That is, they've given him 1 day or 24
It's people like Hasan that just don't know shit. He doesn't know the gun world, but he thinks it'll make him badass. He was expecting a Charlie-esque response from the internet. Yeah, that's why I think the whole fitness arc personality side of Hasan is performative and it's not actually based in a Sisyphean masculine ideal / struggle. It's just like, leftists are known as soy boys, and I want to be the opposite of that.
24-hour bans or sometimes 12-hour bans. And that's been all they've done with him. But now we've got a serious problem because we've got a situation in which if he is not banned for this,
Sisyphean, more like Sussophysian.
this opens up this behavior for others. So it opens up this behavior, these threats for other people, which can bring on what appears to be real weapons, knives, bombs, and dox people, threaten them. And here's the problem for Twitch. They open themselves up for not just losing advertisers, which is a big non-legal issue, not just looking bad as a brand, because obviously nobody wants to be the platform in which people are openly brandishing weapons and threatening others and doxing them. That's not good for a platform. But you open yourself up to illegal consequences as well. Now, obviously, many people know the breach of contract route. And there are arguments in terms of breaching the contract between the creator and the platform in terms of banning somebody for...
Or they might ban him for a weekend and it's a vacation for him. See, the problem with Twitch bans is that if you're a large streamer on Twitch, because there's such a small concentration of them, when you're banned, it goes viral on Twitter, and Dexerto or these like small, hyper-specific parasocial outlets, and they get more attention. And they're able to take a couple days off of streaming. So it actually enhances their job and career. In fact, it probably equals more money. Sure, it's negative attention, but when it comes to streaming, attention is everything.
For one type of behavior, whereas you don't ban somebody
When is Phil going to be called out for his clear spacebar abuse? I have no idea what you're talking about.
for another. So you don't ban Hasan for this, but let's say another creator is banned for this. Well, there might be a cause of action open up there. Now, there's a lot of challenges with that. That's a difficult one, but one that's even more interesting and one that is really untested. And in fact, there may be many people looking to test this.
Facts, unless they are actually banned for a substantial amount of time, but fuck even then. Exactly. Because if you're banned for a long time, then people are just going to be anticipating your return, and you're going to have a huge return stream.
Is a consumer type action under a private right of action. Every state has their consumer laws, and those laws are sometimes very, very strong. And one thing they protect against is unfair and deceptive practices. And it indeed is a very strong case to say it is an unfair and deceptive practice to benefit some people while punishing others. Because this
That is, by definition, deceptive, but I would say hypocritical. It's blatant that there's favoritism on Twitch.
bias, this, for example, Hasan bias, is not disclosed anywhere. It's not given out in the terms of service. When you read the terms of service, nowhere does it say everyone will be punished except for Hasan Piker. Everyone will be banned except for Hasan Piker. Or, for example, if you want to be more broad, everyone will be banned except people who share Hasan Piker's political beliefs or affiliations or associations. If that was disclosed publicly, then fair dues, then you can do what you're trying to do. Of course, Advertisers may have an issue with that, but legally it wouldn't be as deceptive. But now you're deceiving the consumer, both the people.
Some big streamer will get a 24-hour ban, and the smaller person gets banned forever for the same violation. It's because they can afford to ban a little guppy. But if they start going after the big fish, it one-to-one affects Twitch's bag at the end of the day. Because I'm pretty sure Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, came out and said that about 50% of the revenue of Twitch comes from people supporting the biggest streamers.
People that are consuming the content, that are expecting that their favorite content creators will not be banned, and then seeing them get banned, and deceiving the creators themselves by lulling them into a belief that they can stream on your platform safely and do what they want, just like Hasan. But then they're ultimately punished. And they're punished for a much longer period of time. They're losing a much larger slice of revenue, memberships, subscriptions, etc., affiliate deals than Hasan. So you're able to point to that and say, I have damages because I am being banned for 7x, 10x, 30x, way longer than Hasan. And I can bring this private cause of action for an unfair and deceptive practice on the part of Twitch. And there's a lot of folks that may be opened up for that. So looking at this, real big problem, and would be even a bigger problem if there was a real incident where somebody got into an altercation where there was a threat made like Hasan.
That's just like Casey Tron or whatever streamed a whole movie the other day because Hasan's letting his orbiters twist in the wind. I don't think she even got a ban. I wouldn't even consider her big. Yeah, I don't really know too much about the situation, but as far as I'm aware, Casey Tron, who's one of the people getting sued by H3 for violating fair use by just smoking herself silly without any actual transformative constructive criticism or input based on watching his video, streamed an entire movie with her chat, which once again violates, I'm pretty sure, DMCA and fair use. You can't just watch a movie. But she did, and I don't think she will face repercussions.
And then somebody responded with force. We saw the case of Sin City Manny in Las Vegas, the streamer that responded to taunting and threats of other streamers. People are not beyond responding with violence, particularly in America. That is something in 2025, that's something that could happen. And God forbid that do happen, would be the absolute end of Twitch as a platform. What do I see them doing? They've got to do something against Hasan. Hopefully they give him a longer term ban, more than just 24 hours. But unfortunately, Twitch has been known to be very light on its favorite golden boy. But
Hasan should talk to my daughter Michaela. Maybe she could actually get through to him.
Let me know in the comments below what you think about the whole situation, and what do you think they're going to do with Hasan, if they're going to do anything, and I'll catch you on the next.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we already know the answer to that. Zero, zilch, nada. Just another day at the circus, clown world. How's Twitch has a Hasan problem? Fast facts by Legal Mindset.